Hey guys, it's Peyton, and today I am going to be telling you what I read in the month of September, and I'm also going to be telling you a few books that I hope to read in October. So if you saw the thumbnail, you know not much happened, reading-wise. In September, I read one complete book, and I'm halfway through another one, and it's just completely different from what I showed you guys last month with my 8 books. I'm like, but school came back and it hit me hard, as it does every single year. And I'm also like laughing at myself because I just posted a video, books to read when you're in a reading slump, which I'm not in a reading slump, okay? I don't know if anyone's gonna believe me, but school every year, it just puts me in this I'm really tired, I want to read, but I'm tired. And every time I try to read, I fall asleep. Like, so this is a straight up problem. I think that I am gonna start to hopefully get the hang of reading with school again, because I always eventually do. It's just that first month of school and reading is never a good combination for me. It just does not go well. So, and there's a lot of books that are coming out soon, and I'm just wanting to read them all, so I need to figure out how to read a bunch during the pain of school. So the only book that I completed in the month of September was Always and Forever Laura Jean by Jenny Han. I gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars. It was the third and final book in the To All the Boys I've Loved Before trilogy, and ever since the To All the Boys I Loved Before movie came out, I was sparked to finally read the third book in the trilogy because I've been wanting to do that. Honestly, I think this is my least favorite book in the whole trilogy. It just didn't feel the same. I was bored for quite a bit of it, and this was definitely not the right book for me to start school off with. During those times, I need a book that's really capturing my attention, because this was not. It was so short, and it literally took me half the month to finish because I just could not get through it. I just think a lot of this book was just kind of boring. I'll be real. It just was not really capturing my attention as much as the other two did, and it's been years since I read the other two. I think that probably doesn't help that I just jumped into this after years of being separate from it. I was hoping for more from this, and I am sad I didn't like it as much as I wanted to. And if you don't know anything about this story, it's basically about a girl named Laura Jean who writes letters every time she loves a dude, and one day someone mails out those letters to all those dudes, and she has to deal with the awkward situations of these dudes knowing she loved them. It's honestly a really funny situation, and I really enjoyed the movie as well, so I recommend it. It's just this third book is just not as good as the other two. So the book that I read a little bit over halfway of is Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. I'm really enjoying this book. I am 386 pages into it, and it is a 660 page book. So it's a bigger book, and I did make a good way through. But it's also one of those books that take me a while to read. Sarah J. Maas takes me a while to read because I read it a lot slower. Every page takes me longer than a normal book because I don't know, I just sink it in. Like, I have to like pay attention to every single line, and that makes it take even longer to finish, obviously. And then her books typically come out during school, so then it's even more difficult. This came out like a year ago, but I'm reading it during school. Great decision, Peyton. And it makes it even harder to read. I'm reading this because this is, I believe, the 7th book in the series when you count the novella, and the 8th and final book comes out in October, so I wanted to go ahead and finally read this book. It took me forever to read this one because this is what was supposed to be a novella in a different character's point of view than the normal books, but then it turned into a full-length book, so I just wasn't wanting to read it for a good while of my life. And then now that I'm finally reading it, I'm really enjoying it. It takes place in 3 different characters' point of views. I really enjoy 2 of the characters' point of views, but there's this one character that I don't care for as much. Like, every time her chapter comes around, I'm like, ugh, I want to go back to the other people's. And if you really want to know, it's Nesrin's chapters. I'm just at the moment not really enjoying her chapters as much as I am with Kale and Irene. If you want me to somehow explain this whole series, it's basically starting off about a girl named Selena Sardothian who is the most notorious assassin in this entire world, and she has been in this prison salt mine sort of thing for like a year, and then the king offers her a way out if she competes to become the king's champion, which is basically the king's assassin. And since she is a great assassin, because she trained for a lot of her life, she's a good candidate for this position, and if she wins the competition, she can get out of that little prison thingy and have her freedom, but have to kill every single person the king wants her to kill. But there's also a problem with how this king is a bad dude, and he's the one that put her in there. He'd want her to kill some people that she doesn't want to kill. So that's an issue. It comes up along the series, and I've loved this series for ages. I have been here since book 2. I started reading it around when book 2 just came out. I've been here for a while because this is the 7th book. I love this series, okay? And I'm really glad to be back in the world. I can't wait for Kingdom of Ash. I'm really excited, but also very scared to see what happens in the finale because people might die, and I don't want them to die. So those are the books that I read in September, which not a lot happened, but don't judge me. School is difficult and it made me want to die, okay? So now I have a few books on like a little list that I really want to get to in October. We'll see if it happens. I only own one of these because there's a couple that did not come out yet. And the first one is Wild Card by Marie Lu. This is the second book in the Warcross duology. The first book came out in like January, and I really, really loved it, so I cannot wait to read this book and see if I love it just the same or even more. I hope even more. This book is about this time in the near future where there's this crazy virtual reality game that everyone can play, and they do it with these glasses. There's a game within it called Warcross, and there's big championships, and it's really huge in this world to the point where they have millions upon millions of people watching these huge championships. And one day, our main character, Amika, she hacks herself into one of these championships, and literally the whole world sees her there, and no one has ever hacked into the game, so everyone's like, who the heck is that? And this leads her to be contacted by the guy that created this whole thing, the game thing, the glasses thing, to use her to kind of like look into the world of hacking of this one dude that is trying to mess up Warcross. Like, some bad guy is trying to like hack into this thing. I can't explain this. He wants her to investigate this with her great hacking skills, okay? I don't know if this makes any sense, but I'm really excited to read this, and I really, really hope my reading gets easier during the school so I can get to this one. Another book that I'm really hoping to get to is A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Tahira Mafi. This is her first contemporary book. She wrote the Shatter Me series, which I have reread recently, and I just have this new found love for it, and I really love it, and I want this new book. And it's about this girl during the time of 9/11, I'm pretty sure, and she is Muslim, and it basically focuses on her hardships of how probably she's discriminated during this time because of what happened during 9/11, and then people are just mean to her. She's also a breakdancer, and Tahira Mafi says that she has a lot of personal connection with this story, and a lot of it is pulled from her life because Tahira was also a breakdancer growing up. And I just think this is going to be a really great story, a really inspiring story. I'm just really excited. I'm here for Tahira, so I'm ready for this. And the next book that I'm really excited to read this month, and I really hope I actually get to it. It hasn't come out yet, but I've already pre-ordered it, and hopefully I get to it. Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas, the final book in the Throne of Glass series, the series of my life. I've always loved this series. I know like there's issues with it and everything, but I love this series, and I've never reread it. It's been so long since I first read the books. I have forgotten so many things, so I feel like maybe after I read this, I should like slowly, ow, I hit myself in the face, I should slowly reread the series and just have everything connect with each other and just be happy. Unless like everyone dies, I might not be happy. Please don't pull a Veronica Roth. I don't want that. Honestly, this cover is gorgeous. I just want to own it, one thing and I want to read it. So let's see if I actually get to it in October. So I don't really do TBR videos anymore because I feel like I never follow them and it stresses me out having this list and then like showing how I did not follow them the next month. But these are like really in my head what I'm gonna try to read, and we'll see during my October wrap up if I actually got to them, and hopefully I have a better reading month than I did in September. But I am feeling the reading love like tugging at my heart. I miss like reading a lot. So let's hopefully not have school mess this up, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like it, comment down below. Have a good day. Please subscribe. Make sure to follow all my social medias, which are linked down below, and go click the bell button, which is right by the subscribe button, which you should have already clicked, and goodbye.